One, two, three, funky.
So hey, so
I
listen. So
mean,
did you hear that there's some undertones that the Browns are looking at trying to bring Cam Newton on board. Have you heard that?
no, I haven't heard. I haven't heard that. But what I've heard is that there's a lot of rumors about some quote unquote big trades going around the NFL. And
Mm-hmm.
apparently the only untradeable person out there right now is Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
So they're
Mm-hmm.
talking about, remember that rumor about Tom Brady being traded for the quarterback who's with the Niners now?
Oh yeah, Garoppolo. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then it just kind of quietly went away.
Mm-hmm.
Well, apparently that was just brought to light that was actually true.
Mm-hmm.
That was in the mix for like 48 hours and they squashed it.
Mm-hmm.
But they're pointing out the fact that, hey, Brady is tradable, Garoppolo is tradable. They're talking about how Lamar Jackson. They're talking about how
Whoa,
Russell
whoa, whoa,
Wilson.
whoa, 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 whoa. Hold
I'm
on.
not finished, dude.
Hold on.
I'm not. I'm telling you what I'm heard. I ain't
Where
telling
do
you
you?
what I'm saying.
Who are you
Listen to
talking
what
to?
I'm telling you.
You talking to Leroy down at the corner liquor store? Where are you getting these rumors from? I mean,
Sports radio, dude.
oh my gosh!
Sports radio.
Really?
I'm telling you, sports radio.
Lamar Jackson.
They just said that. Don't even talk about it. I'm talking about. They said that Russell Wilson is tradable.
So let's take a step back.
And they're not saying that that's what's going on. They're not saying that.
I'm pulling you back. Right.
Oh,
So look on the
really?
on the funk basement. Okay, we're not gonna go with rumors that Dude Thing told us as he was grabbing his 40. Yo, Stelvio, you know what I heard? I heard that Lamar Jackson gonna get traded. You didn't hear from me. Listen, the reality is, who they gonna trade him for? Who you gonna get better than Lamar Jackson for Baltimore, right? Who you gonna trade Russell Wilson for? Who you gonna get better? A trade makes you better. A trade don't just happen to happen. So, I don't that stuff. I'm like, really? That to me, that's just fodder for us to talk about. Let's talk about some real stuff. Why would the Buccaneers trade Tom Brady? You just got him. Why would you trade him? Garoppolo lost in the Super Bowl. He had a lead and lost. Tom Brady has won, 7, 8 Super Bowls? So, I mean, those, to me, we need some real trade information. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. Okay. Continue. I'm sorry. Continue. That's my bad. Continue with
I'm done. I got nothing else to say. You got plenty to talk about. Go ahead and talk, Mr. Hustle. It's your show. It's your hour. Do your thing, boy.
Don't get sensitive on me. So anyway. But no. I mean, but on the real. I mean, you're a sports guy. When you heard that on the radio, did you really believe those were real rumors, or those?
They were just trying to make a point. And the one I was going to try to explain to you is the one they were talking about, Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that, okay, they got Russell on the cheap. They they drafted him in the 4th round. He's a 4th rounder, and they had him for like 4 years for basically nothing. And during that whole 4 years, they basically didn't really get a whole lot of good players around him, other than that defense, of course. The defense was ridiculous. But offensively, they've always had these, less than optimal receivers. They've had less than optimal running backs, although they did have Marshawn Lynch for a while. But that's kind of at, it wasn't at the height when he was really, really good. But he did really well. But what they're saying is they went ahead and gave him this huge contract, but they can't build around him still.
Mhm.
So if somebody called them and said, hey, you know, can we get Russell Wilson if we give you this up and comer, say Lamar Jackson, and he ain't getting paid nothing right now because what? He's still on his rookie contract. They won't have to pay him.
Mhm.
You know, not to say that they won't do that, but that's kind of what the point was, is that, you know, it's business. And it would be ridiculous for them to trade Russell Wilson. Of course, why would they do that? I mean, he's like the best quarterback in the NFL right now. There's, you know, of course, you know, there's some close quarterbacks, of course, but he has just been good every year. I mean, he's a great quarterback. So why would you get rid of your best player? Well, you need some players on offense. They're not getting anybody to block for him. They're not getting them no good running backs, not good receivers. You know, he's basically been making his team look good because he's so good. But it's like, if they really want to do something, okay, trade him and see what you can get for him. Or trade him and get somebody back for him who was like him when he first got into the league. You know, an up-and-comer who's all of a sudden blowing up, and he's carrying his team to conference playoffs and stuff like that. I mean, that's the point they was making. They aren't saying that it's happening and you can do that, but they were giving examples of other quarterbacks too that could be traded just because of the actual team's circumstances and their team and their makeup of the team. That nobody's off limits, but if somebody called for Mahomes, that's one of the only calls that you have the wrong number and they hang up on him because he's like untradeable. You know, people consider him just untradeable. So that's the only point. I'm not saying that that's gonna happen or people are thinking about it doing, but they were just making a point about people who are untradeable. And they said that one person who's untradeable is Mahomes.
Well, and that's only because he won a Super Bowl. I mean, I listen. You're
probably exactly right. That Super Bowl tag really gives him some, a little bit of oomph.
But if he loses, if next season they don't make it to the playoffs, then also he's on that list. I mean, look, I'm teasing you, but you know, they're right in what they're saying. But we've known that's not new information. I guess the reason why I kind of came back because that's what I'm saying about when I listen to sports radio, right? They give us information that's not new. There are no guaranteed contracts in the NFL. So everybody is tradable, right? The only thing that keeps you from getting traded is if you win. And even winning can get you traded, right? I mean, so everybody is tradable. What I was saying is when you look at the what sense does it make? For Baltimore, what sense would it make to trade up and coming Lamar Jackson that we're not paying anything to, and we were a play away from the Super Bowl for Russell Wilson, who is one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now, but we can both agree he's probably at his peak. The next thing for Russell is going to plateau and then come down, right? That wouldn't make any sense for Baltimore. You know what I'm saying? So to me, if Seattle was to try to trade Russell Wilson, they're not going to get a Russell Wilson. They're going to get something less.
Well, let me tell you this, and you're exactly right, but let me go ahead and paint this picture for you. Let me just go ahead and describe this scenario. When Russell Wilson was winning and going to the Super Bowls, what on that team was great besides him?
The defense.
Exactly, right? The Legion of Boom, right? So what is actually great on Baltimore right now?
Their defense.
Their defense, right? Same thing, right? So what kind of receivers they got for Baltimore?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know who the receivers are. You know, I mean, they're decent, but I don't know who they are.
Yeah. Well, I would argue that the receivers that they have are better than the receivers that they have with Seattle.
Okay.
I'll argue that. I'll argue that their running backs that they have, and they have a running back by committee, by the way, is better than what Seattle has.
Okay.
I'll say this, that Baltimore's offensive line right now is better than Seattle's, right?
Okay.
So if they lost Lamar Jackson, do you think they would still have a chance to make it to the Super Bowl with Russell Wilson if they made a trade like that?
Well, no, of course they would. I mean,
Of
of course
course
they
they
would.
would,
Yeah,
right?
of course they would. Of
So
course they
if
would.
you paint that picture, yeah, it would make sense. But I agree with you. Why would I trade this young talent, for Russell, who is getting paid all this dough, and mess up their salary cap?
Well, yeah, I mean, so look here. I mean, here's the reality, and we know this is how it works in NFL. Every team, and we can say we can exclude the Patriots because somehow they figured out a way to do this formula that's outside of the box, what everybody does. But usually, as a team gets better, it's usually with either young or unknown players that we really didn't know about, right? Young talent or unknown talent that we're like, man, we didn't realize he was that good, right? You may have one or two guys you're like, yeah, that guy, we knew he was going to be legit when he got in the league. But a lot of times it's like, man, we didn't realize he was going to be that good. Then they elevate to the supreme area, winning the Super Bowl, and then what happens? Everybody wants a paycheck. So then you can't keep the team together. So the receiver leaves, the lineman leave, the safeties. And so now the team is not nearly what they were when they won the Super Bowl. They're still good. They still got pieces, but they're not where they were. That happens to everybody. That's where Seattle is. Seattle's still a good team, but they're not nearly what they were when they won the Super Bowl. But who on that team besides Russell Wilson is still there from when they won the Super Bowl? There's not many of them. I don't even think the defense, I don't think anybody on the defense is still there. You know what I'm saying? Because those guys got paychecks. They got more money. They moved on. The same thing's going to happen to the Chiefs. If the Chiefs continue the ascension, they've won a Super Bowl, if they continue to do good, everybody's going to start getting paid. So everybody's going to move on. I'm looking to get more money, and Kansas City can't pay everybody the money. So that team is going to hit a level where it's going to be hard for them to continue that. Again, the Patriots are the only team that I've seen that they've been able to work around that box where they've been able to stay successful just by kind of plugging guys in. And these guys may not be the guys that were like, man, he is the dude. These guys are just really good, and they get on the Patriots, and all of a sudden, like, man, they won a Super Bowl. How'd that happen, right? So if I put on my GM hat as Baltimore, it doesn't make any sense for me to get rid of Lamar Jackson, right? I'm trying to win.
No.
I'm trying to maximize the amount of money I can make on Lamar's rookie contract, right? And so think about it. They almost went to the Super Bowl this year, okay? So next year, once the season starts up, this upcoming season, they're gonna. I don't care if they got 20 fans in the arena. It's gonna sell out. People are gonna be watching on TV, buying merchandise, and they can maybe get there, right? So if you can maximize how much money we can make off them now, hey, we win a Super Bowl. That's great. Then we can fuss and talk about contract and if we're gonna trade them. That's the situation Dak Prescott's in, right? With my Dallas Cowboys. The reason why, and you and I we talk about this all the time, the reason why Dak Prescott has not been offered the big money contract is because at the end of his rookie contract, he hasn't done what the Cowboys want him to do, i.e., he ain't won a Super Bowl. He hasn't even gone to Super Bowl. He hasn't even been in the hunt for a Super Bowl. So they're like, okay, are we going to give you all this money and you haven't produced what we want you to what we want from you? You know what I'm saying? So, it's complex, and I think everybody's tradable, but I think some of those rumors are just kind of outlandish because it doesn't make any sense because it doesn't. You're giving up something to get nothing. I mean, honestly, you're giving up something to get nothing. Because if Seattle was to get Lamar Jackson, they still don't have the pieces around him. So basically, you're going to do exactly what you're doing with Russell Wilson, right? I mean, are you going to spend big money on a running back? I think Seattle's problem is they have not drafted well. I don't think they've drafted very well. Because there have been running backs that have come out of college. I mean, I watch them every year. And I just don't think they've drafted well to bring, those type of players around him. But a lot of teams don't draft well. Your Detroit Lions don't draft well, right? I mean, so.
No, they draft really well. They just suck. Have you seen all the running backs they've gotten? Have you seen all the receivers they've gotten, i.e. Megatron? They just suck.
Yeah, you guys.
The only thing that they haven't really gotten right is, there's a few things. A GM, of course, they had what's the guy's name? Matt.
Oh,
The
the
guy who
ex-player?
played.
Matt
Yeah,
Mullen?
he played for San Francisco. I
Mhm.
can't think of his name. But anyway, he was with him for a long time and just drove him into the ground. He was so terrible.
Mhm.
And then they haven't had great coaches. I mean, we had a coach, what's the guy's name? Schwartz, that Jim Harbaugh slapped upside the head on, on TV, on national TV after a game.
I remember that.
And you remember that, right?
I remember that.
Just embarrassing. They've never gotten an offensive line, right? Since Barry Sanders, even before Barry Sanders, just never have gotten an offensive line that, so, you see my quarterback, he's running for his life all the time, and they spent all his good years with nothing.
Yeah,
It's just remember, they're just a terrible organization. So no, I'm not talking about them. I'm not talking about them. No, I'm not talking about them.